The logos go there now, it's back on. Right, we're up with Darren, and we're moving on with the series. How's things, pal?
Good, mate, yep. Bit cowed, but there you go.
Jim's looking good. Just done a little bit of quick filming that'll be on the start of this. You told me a little story last time about your brand new Fairtex bags, which look really nice, by the way. Mm-hmm. But as a memorabilia collector, I'm absolutely mortified. Tell the people, Darren, what you fill the bags with.
I don't know, they'll all be coming in, cut my bags open, won't
No,
they?
because they're cut up, aren't they? All the T-shirts.
Yeah, that's right. I shredded them all before I put them in there. So from the boxing, obviously, every time you go to a show, boxers, they end up giving you a T-shirt. So I was collecting sometimes 5 T-shirts from a show over the last 4 or 5 years. And I bet I've had 200 T-shirts, 120, somewhere between 100 and 200 T-shirts in boxes over there that I thought, oh, I'll keep them. And they've just been there, and they're not doing anything, and I just thought, I can't keep them there because I need the space, as you can tell. I need to fill these bags up. So I thought, well, at least I know where they are. So, yeah, there's about 100, I don't know.
So you've filled the Fairtex bags with show T-shirts from some of the biggest fights in British boxing history.
Yeah, over the last 5 years, yeah.
Well done, mate. I'm absolutely mortified. So, we spoke about the early days and you moving over here to GFC and that all went. It must have been a transitional time. It must have been hard, and then you open the doors here and basically start afresh. You told me that you did a newspaper advert that worked really well. What were the early days like? What was it like getting a fight team together?
Well, and them days I worked as well.
Right.
And it wasn't too bad when I first moved into here. I was working in Borough, so I was like literally 5-10 minutes walk away. My brother was teaching for me, and over the years, first couple of years, was a guy from New Zealand called Brett Harold who used to train at Sandys. He did a bit of teaching for me. A lad called Darren Cropper did a bit, so it wasn't too bad. Still early doors, still were sitting wrong, so you were limited to where you could go. So that meant you were limited to how many fights you could put out. It was a very big learning period, because whilst I'd taught for years and years and years, that was at Sundays, and Sunday had the decisions to make.
So what was it like? How long did it take you to start getting fighters out on the circuit?
Well, I'd had them out anyway, because I'd had Hayward for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So they were out almost straight away. Not that many fighters. I think the big thing happened when I left Sitting Wrong. Once I left Sitting Wrong, literally, once everybody knew, and the phone never stopped ringing, and it progressed from there. When it comes to fighters, though, especially with adults in particular, I have this thing like, I do try and talk them out of it. I know it sounds daft, but I've never really gone, oh, do you want to fight, do you want to fight, do you want to fight someday? They have to come and they have to really beg me to fight. I'm not stupid. It's really hard. If you're going to do it, fine. But if you're in two minds, don't bother. And if you don't want to, congratulations. Like when Mike said to me, I want some time off, Mike Eslick. I went, great. Young man, just having to start work, baby, about to get married in a few months. I need some time off. Crack on. Life's far more important, family's more important. I'll be here if you want to come back and whatever, always here for you. So
how long, so let's talk about then who was your first fighters out here that came through the door as total novices, and you got them ready. Who was like the first string that you started putting out, and what sort of years were them? So
I had 2 that had started with me in Hayward, Scott Chadwick and Michael Borg, who were like the forerunner here. Darren Cropper, like I said, was the hardest hairdresser you've ever met in your life. He started it. Oh no, he was up at Hayward actually. He'd started off at Hayward as well. Carl Roberts had been at Bury and he came to me here. I think probably the first person from here was a lad who we only used to call Hussein, actually. Mind, when I think back about it, because Hussein had his first fight in a show in Oldham, and then 8 days later fought Imran Khan in his second fight on a show in Horwich.
Oh.
That's going back some years. I think Imran had 3 or 4 fights then, and he nearly knocked Imran out. He did lose on points, but he nearly knocked Imran out. He was an handy lad, Hussein. But I tell you, I remember, was it Hussein that did it to him? Yeah, he was sparring with somebody, I think it was Thrasher. It was Thrasher, and Hussein was only a light lad, so Thrasher must have started early doors. I'm sure it was Thrasher told me, he said, Hussein hit him with an high kick. And they said he was half a mile walking the wrong way home before he realised where he was.
Actually sparks him.
Proper shocking. I think he got him back for that 4 or 5 dozen times afterwards, like, you know.
So you had a general progression then, did you? Through the
Yeah,
early
always,
years, getting fighters out?
always, like, probably the quietest time for volume of fighters, the 2 quietest times would have been when Andy was at his heyday. So when Andy was at his heyday, he was murdering. Nobody, I think everyone used to come in and like spar with him and look at him and look what he went through and thought, we can't do that. Because then he was fighting A-class against the top guys in the country and there was no one else knocking around with him. Shiv's Martin Shivnan, there was a talented guy, Martin Shivnan. Martin Shivnan, when he had his first fight, he fought for Rick Lewis at a press switch Muay Thai. And he fought a 14-year-old lad, head contact. Obviously, I didn't know him at the time, and he got knocked out in 27 seconds. Do you want to guess who it was?
That knocks him out?
Yeah.
No, go on.
Liam Harrison.
Was it really?
Yeah. Martin's first fight got knocked out.
And where was that at?
That was at George Carnell.
Yeah, a lot of people still talk about that and seeing Liam for the first time.
Yeah,
Was there?
those were the days where you're like, whoa, this guy. I remember seeing Liam, I think the first time I saw him actually was on the Dean White shows, and Dean had contacted me. I had a fight on, I don't know who it was. He contacted me and said, I need such a person, like a 57 kilogram, like first or second time or something like that. And I said, I haven't got anybody at the moment for that. I rocked up to the show and I said, I get that lad match. And he put him in the lead. He goes, yeah, I didn't know until about an hour ago because he's played football this morning. We had to wait until he finished his football match. And he sparkled this kid from Wigan all over the place.
Wow.
I remember the other days of Liam very, very well.
Was that the days of multi-ring at the Carnell?
No, he only did that once.
Did he only do it the once?
He only did that once. No, that was well before that.
Right.
Well before that. I had a load on that multi-ring show. You
know?
Yeah.
I went as a fight fan.
Yeah.
But not even knowing what was really going on, but just like transfixed by it all, trying to watch whatever you could.
It was a good experiment. Obviously, he didn't do it again, so it probably didn't work out the way he wanted. Luke fought on that show. Luke fought one of Paul Capwitz's lads when he was still with Sitting Wrong. I had a girl called Georgina Greenwood. Georgina had 6 fights for me, 6 wins, and she won 5 titles in 6 fights.
She really?
And she fought, her first fight was against the girl from Massaskens for an area title, and she won on that. She, like, just off being a UK team swimmer, Georgina, just one of the fittest people you've met. She wasn't, you know what, she weren't the best Thai boxer I've ever had. She was like a wind-up Duracell bunny. Just off you go, get hold of them and knee them until they fall out.
Yeah, that's what they did.
And that's what she was like, yeah.
So that was pretty much moving through the 90s, was it? Your production, and so your success rate was good?
Yeah,
would you say?
It was better. It was probably not as good as it is now. I was still learning an awful lot. So that transition period from starting here, from leaving Sitting Wrong, 4 or 5 years where there was a massive progression in what I was teaching and what I perceived as Muay Thai. So that would be like 93 through to about 98 probably. I'd be interested to have to sit back and look and see exactly when I did think about things like that. Because I know I came here in 96 because Maxine was pregnant with Luke. So I'm probably 96 to 2000, that 4-year period when I sort of switched it on its head. And so there was iffy decisions and iffy performances going through then as we changed from one thing to another. As you can imagine, you don't want a fighter leaves the gym, goes to a different gym. There's always that in-between period, isn't there? That's when you want to try and get them fighters. And that was kind of my whole gym, was in this in-between period from doing what we were doing to what I thought we should do and adapting between the two. And then sort of like from 2000 onwards, I just think that was it. Then I kind of knew what I wanted to do.
Was it still hard rocking up at shows and being judged by kickboxing judges?
Yeah, definitely.
You had your idea what you thought was to win?
I think the problem is, or the problem was then and is in an awful lot of places you go now, is you still have no, like I don't go to, someone ring me up and say, got any fighters for this event? Yeah, who's officiating it? That is literally my next question. Because if they don't know at that point, or I'm not comfortable with it is, there's no point going any further, because I'm not going to go to a show where they haven't made the decision of who's going to judge it, because they don't know who's tried to rock in for free on the day yet, or the judges are like, not where I want to go. I took 5 kids to a show in Liverpool once. It was Luke's last junior Thai boxing fight.
So what year would this be, approx? 2009-ish,
around about that. I think he finished at 13 as a junior. So I'd say 2009. So I took 5 kids and had 6 wins, but we'll come to that in a minute. So that was when I realised I've really got to check where I'm going, because I said when I got there, I said, right, who's refereeing and judging it? Well, we've got an ISK referee and he does the judging as well. Well, I don't agree with that in Thai as it is. It's a very different skill, and you've got more important things to worry about in Thai. You know, it's more dangerous than boxing. You know, when you've got a professional boxing circuit where the referee pretty much knows who's won based on when he looked at the card when he got here, doesn't have to concentrate all that much. When you've always got competitive fights. So I said, right, so I'm not having my kids judged by the referee, so it's not safe. I said, where's the referee anyway? So I went up and spoke to him. So I just said, and I'm probably going to get some stick for what I'm going to tell you now, and other people will smile. I went up to the ASK referee. I said, can I just ask you, so like, you know, what's your criteria for judging the kids today? And he went, it's an ISK scoring criteria. I said, so it's not Thai based, blah blah blah. No, it's ISK. He said, Master Ronnie Green has taught us how to score based on how he beat the Thais. I went, thanks for your time. So I went back to the promoter and said, I'm going home now unless you find me 3 judges, because he's not judging my fights. So we found 3 judges, and I had 5 fighters on. And after the 3rd one had fought, before Luke and someone else was going to fight, he came up to me, he's not, oh, he just fought. He said, will he fight again? I said, what? I said, this guy's not turned up. I said, and I've got a lad. I said, do you think he'll fight again? So I said, well, hang on, mate, he's gone. I went into the crowd, he sat in the crowd. I said, do you want to fight again? He went, yeah. And he half up, he went, no, I don't. I said, are you sure? He went, yeah, no, I don't. Yeah. Go get the change room, get your change, you're fighting again. What? Just go, you're fighting again. And he battered someone else.
Really?
Luke fought a lad called Brian Crichton, who was a good kid.
I remember Brian, yeah, went to Gordon's.
Yeah. Really horrible, scruffy fight. Luke hated it. He won comfortably. And 13-year-old is driving home. And I could tell, I thought, you know, it was a tough fight, and I knew it was a tough fight. And his back guard and everything. And I said to Luke, I said, what's up? You don't feel happy? He says, why do people want to do Muay Thai like that? Why do they have to turn it into a street fight? Why can't they just do Muay Thai? And that was it. He quit.
And that was at 13?
That was at 13. A very, 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 very wise kid. He lost his 2nd fight, Luke. He dropped a lad in like 20 seconds with a knee. It was clean in the body. And the referee at the time said, oh, let's just give him another chance. What do you mean give him another chance? It was a knee in the body. I said, that's the judges. All the judges are going, it's a knee in the body. He goes, let's just give him another chance. So he got up and Luke lost his temper. He didn't fight very well and the kid was fouling an awful lot. But he did enough to win, but they gave it a split decision against him. And I'm walking him to school 3 days later and he went to me, you know what, Dad, I didn't deserve to win that fight. So I lost my temper and I didn't stick to what I'm supposed to do. I said, so I didn't deserve to win it. Can't argue with that.
Some mentality.
10, 11-year-old.
Yeah.
You know?
So he actually packed in at 13?
Well, he packed in fighting at 13. Yeah, he just said, I just don't want to do it anymore. So I can't fight the way I want to fight. He fought one of the Opens. And he fought, I don't know, it's going to annoy me now because the kid went on to do massive stuff. He fought a lad from Steve Semtex's gym. And Luke was used to people coming out and scrapping it with him. And it used to do his head in because he's what do Thai boxing. This kid came out and he just went like that and he sort of like gave him a shrug of his shoulders. He turned around to me and Matt seen in the corner at the time and smiled, and it was a brilliant, beautiful Thai fight.
Was it? Where would that be at?
That was down in Birmingham actually on one of Paul Sutton's Open. So I only went twice. I think that was the first year I went.
What year would that be?
2007, 6, something like that. Yeah, I can't remember who it was, and I remember Steve coming straight up to me after and said, wow, what a style, what a fight.
Yeah.
That was, what a lovely, lovely style. So pleasing to see. And he won it that year. The best of it is, Luke wasn't even going to compete. We took 6 down, and he said, oh, I don't think I want to fight, I don't want to fight. We got there, and the promoter said to me, we've got 7 in this weight category. Will Luke jump in? I said, do you want to jump in? What? I said, I don't know, I've not got any shots. We'll just borrow a pair. I went, all right. And he walked through it, like a knife through hot butter.
And Steve Gladstone there.
Yeah.
You know, one of the guys that teaches it correctly.
Oh, yeah. And he
fantastic, Jim.
Yeah, it was like when Luke fought Danny Endel.
They were great, weren't they?
Yeah.
Two Endel brothers.
Yeah, well, I was on AX, as it was at the time, and I seen John Jarvis got a post, said, anybody help me with these kids? And he had a list of 6 kids, and I thought, I've got 5 of them. So at the time I didn't know what Crawley was. Oh shit, never got my mouth really. So I messaged him and said, look, if you're interested in bringing a team down from the north, I can match 5 of them. I said, any chance you can match me this girl? So he took 5 down, and some people know these names. Some people, I took Kyle Teal down, Conlon Teal, took a lad, Tom, I can't remember his last name, and I took Georgina, the knee monster, and Luke went to fight Danny Endel. About 10 days before he was supposed to fight Danny, he broke his hand. He broke 2 of his fingers in his hand, so they were in a cast. So what are you going to do? He goes, well, I'm not going to punch anyway, it's not going to make a difference. So he had it in a cast, and when we got there, he took the splinters off and everything else, had his medical and put it straight back on again, wrapped it up for him, and he went out and fought, and he leathered Danny, took him to pieces. Even his dad said, Martin said to me afterwards, like, wow, and then the number of messages I got saying that kid is beating everybody and your kids just took him to school.
Yeah, well, they were the big talking point,
they were the big talking point there.
2009 into 2010.
Yeah. I tell you, Conlon Teal fought George Jarvis as about a 7 or 8 year old or something like that, and it was for an English title, and at the end of it was a draw, and they said we need to decide like a pick a winner. I'm thinking, I don't really know who's won, but like I'm on John's show with John's son. Yeah. So I wasn't bothered to give it to John. I mean, I don't know. It was one of those. And Georgina fought a girl from Mark Wakeley's gym, and that was she would have lost, Georgina, but she had 2 points, took off a punch into the face, and that was a mental fight as well.
It is great. I often go back on AX and look back on some of the, especially if I'm looking for pictures and stuff. Everything's there from them sort of days.
You know what, I'm lying as well. I took 6 because I took Rico down, and Rico beat Isaac. I can't remember what his name was. Isaac Chamberlain. Something. It wasn't Isaac Chamberlain. He was another one, big kid as well. Isaac, but Rico, a lad for me, he beat him.
Right.
I got the year after when I went to the Opens, I had a young girl called Amy Dunn. She had one fight, and she fought the 2 Kitchen twins in the second and third fight.
Amber and
beat them both.
Wow.
And I think at one point she was the last person to beat either one of them for about 7 or 8 years. She quit after that.
Sure.
Yeah, I had a team there of juniors, and this is why I sort of disappeared off the junior circuit for a bit. I had like Luke, Georgina, I had a lad called Matthew Bell, Becky Oldersley, Conlon Teal, Rico, really, really good bunch of kids. And in the space of about 12 months, they all won a couple of British titles and stuff like that. And I think they all also got to that 14-15 stage, and they all quit. And that was when I lost a bit of interest in it then, because that was my first big, massive team of really, really good
soul
juniors.
destroying as well, innit?
Yeah.
You know, when you just get them ready for...
Well, I think I learnt the lesson then, and like Luke's got sort of going through it a little bit with his juniors now, but because I've always spoke to him about how I felt about it, he's sort of like a bit more blasé about it. I was like, and for a couple of years I just couldn't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered at all. I hardly put anyone out at all. And you'll appreciate this. A few years after that, Sandy of all people messaged me and said, look, I've got an inter-club on Saturday and I'm short some small kids. I need blah. I said, any chance you got anybody who can just come along and do this? Because I don't think I even went to interclubs at that point. And I looked at it and I thought, yeah, I've got a few that I can do that actually. And you know these kids that I took to this interclub, Lewis George, Lewis Bentley, there was a girl, I can't remember, I know there's a couple of other kids as well, but it was like, that was them, Lewis George and Lewis Bentley. We went to this interclub and we basically just chucked everybody all over the place, and I thought, oh,
might be doing all
I might have another go at this then. And they're not doing too bad then, lot between them.
I found some footage on YouTube of them early interclubs. I'm not sure, don't think it was Sandy's, but there is a bit of footage about it, and I'll link that in with what you were saying there, because and so that was like the restart.
That was the
time.
restart.
So what era are we then?
So we're talking 7 years ago, aren't we? Probably 5.
Probably a bit more than that. Lewis George looks about 6, maybe 7 on him.
Yeah, he was 6 or 7,
7,
8 years ago.
With a Mohican.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
hair and that.
Because his first fight was on Aaron Jones's unit, whatever they call them, weighting shows.
Yuma, was it really?
Yeah, and I remember looking at the lad he was fighting, and I'm thinking, right, it's going to have to be on form here, Lewis George, because this kid's good. And Lewis was brilliant. But in that fight, he was winning it quite comfortably. He threw a left hook to the body and he missed that much. I think he spun round about 3 times. And I thought, well, that should really what happens if you miss a left hook, you're going to do it properly. So, you know, so...
You couldn't do much about it.
Yeah.
I remember I was at an inter club. It was either here or it was at Sandy Hawk's photographing it. Mm-hmm. And you had Lewis George and Lewis Bentley.
Yeah.
And they both landed left hooks that Ricky Hatton would have been
I remember at the time.
And I remember and a few others going, wait, wow, you know what I mean? That is...
Yeah.
You'd worked on it.
Yeah.
And they both landed it, mate.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
I remember when Lewis George landed his, and I think, you know what that would have been? I'm pretty certain that Interclub was just before Crawler stopped Perez with the left hook to the body. I remember you texting me and saying, "You shout that."
Yeah.
Pretty certain your kid did that 2 weeks ago.
That's right. It was because
yeah.
I used to come from Interclubs and I'm only a photographer then.
Yeah.
No intention of promoting it. And I used to write normally on the running order.
Yeah.
And I'd just make a little mark.
Right, yeah.
And I wrote on the back. I've got it somewhere at home.
Yeah.
And it was fight whatever.
Yeah.
GFC. And body shot, and it was marked on it, and they were lovely shots.
Yeah.
And so that is pretty recent news. Then,
Yeah, that's
isn't it, as
yeah,
such,
yeah.
Your reinvention of the new
So,
junior team.
For two reasons. For that one, I lost a little bit of interest in putting fighters out, but then also I've got into the refereeing and judging. Opening now, no one's doing this properly. You can do it better. Off you go. Right. So then, I'm refereeing and judging every show. Practically going, you know, I'm going down south, up to the northeast, and into Scotland doing that and everything like that. And then I sat back and thought, took these kids out. Why haven't I been putting fighters out? And I'm looking, thinking, well, I'm going to every show I am as a referee and a judge, so I can't put fighters out because I hate it when, you know, you've got a referee shirt and you whip that off, put a T-shirt on, you sat in corner. And that used to be what I have to have and everything like that. I think I still have to do it on Yoka, but I don't want to do it anywhere else, do you know. So I think if you go in with a fight, you should be going with a fight. If you go into referee and judge, you should be going to referee and judge. You know, it don't look great when you've got your referee and three judges and you're all having a right good chat with each other and the referee jumps in a corner and the same three people are judging that guy. You know, there is an argument, you can see why people go, it's a clique and all that, you know. It is a clique, it's a clique of people who agree that Thai boxing should be judged and refereed the correct way. Yeah. So it is a clique, but it's not a clique of you're my mate, I mate, we'll stuff everybody else.
You're not coming from down south and getting beat by the northern clique.
No.
It is deemed to be that.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to come on to that on a different episode. So we'll probably finish, that's how quick 20 minutes goes. So we're going to finish off there with that little bit because I want to talk next about Luke, who you speak glowingly about, and when he decided to do it again.
Yeah.
And the phone calls I made to get Luke on Yoka.
How many opponents did they go through on that one fight?
So we'll finish this episode and then we'll come on to that because that is, you know, there's some good stories there about that.
Yeah.